Right, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Let me just play some of this. Testing. Can you hear me over the game audio? Or video audio, should I say?
I'm AJ
Video
Aonuma,
audio,
producer of the
video
Legend of Zelda
audio,
series.
video audio. Can you hear me over the video audio?
What you just saw was the latest installment, The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. This time around, Link has vanished. Now it's up to Princess Zelda to step into the protagonist role. You might be thinking, will Zelda fight with a sword then? Here, we wanted to create a new gameplay style that breaks conventions seen in past Legend of Zelda games.
I immediately don't like the fact that Link has to be thrown aside in order for us to get a protagonist Zelda. We've had games in the past where we've had 3 protagonists, and yet this game series of Zelda, Legend of Zelda, has the perfect setup for a dual protagonist storyline where you could switch to Zelda, switch to Link, switch to Zelda, switch to Link, depending on the story and what you need to do, and blah blah blah. And yet they won't do it. They keep creating scenarios where Zelda has to be thrown to the past in both Breath of the Wild, well, technically Breath of the Wild, and mostly Tears of the Kingdom, where Zelda is in the past or is sealed away or whatever. And then in this game, Link has to be thrown aside in order to get Zelda into the protagonist role. It's you have the opportunity and the perfect setup to have a dual protagonist. You know what I mean? We've had of that game? Detroit Become Human, literally 3 characters. And yes, people complain that at the end of the day, they're all kind of mishmash. You know what I mean? And there's because of reasons they're not all 100% fleshed out. And it's makes sense, understandable, whatever. And their overall narrative is the joined storyline of AI rights, basically, of the rights of the androids, that sort of thing. And whether the Jesus one, whatever his name, Marcus, that's his name, Marcus, whether he did a good job with peacefully protesting that leads to if Kara can run away and be free. You know what I mean? How the storylines connect in terms of narrative. This franchise has the perfect setup for a dual protagonist role, dual protagonist storyline narrative, where the end all be all of the story, where the joined narrative of the story is saving Hyrule. You know what I mean? It'd be so easily done if Nintendo could just get 2 brain cells and rub them together and go, right, genius idea. And we have our 2 protagonists, Link and Zelda. We get a storyline where we can involve both of them. We're interacting with both of them. We can play both of them, where Zelda's off doing XYZ things and Link is off doing XYZ things, and you can switch between them, and then there's going to be some missions where they're together. You know what I mean? They have story together, and they can do it. It's Nintendo, they can do it. The only reason why they're not doing it is because they don't want to, and it's Nintendo, come on. It's the perfect setup. It's they don't have to. They don't have to throw Zelda away so we can have Link as protagonist, and they don't have to throw Link away to have Zelda as a protagonist. Because so far that's the dynamic. Zelda has to get sealed away or some shite, or get thrown to the past for us to have Link as the protagonist. But when Link does his job in this game where he saves Zelda, he gets yeeted into the void, literally, and Zelda's then allowed to be the protagonist. You don't have to do this. We can have both. On one hand, I'm glad we're finally getting a protagonist Zelda, but it's making me worried because we can have both. We can have dual protagonist Link and Zelda, and the fact that they're not doing that, and the fact that in this game they're showing us if we want a protagonist Zelda, Link is the one that gets thrown into the void. So they're not going to give us a dual protagonist deal. They're always going to give us if you want Zelda as the player, Link has to fuck off. And if you want Link as the player, Zelda has to fuck off. You can do both. You're capable. Please do both. The one thing about Zelda that really fucking worries me recently is that Zelda is the story franchise. You know, and in Breath of the Wild and in Tears of the Kingdom, in Breath of the Wild, the story was so far in the past you couldn't interact with it. But I was able to forgive the fact that we didn't have much story in that game because all the attention was put into creating the engine for Breath of the Wild. So fine, understandable. Whereas with Tears of the Kingdom, they had the engine. You know what I mean? They were just continuing on with it, which is, still cool, and the gameplay is cool and everything. But the story is once again happening in the past, where you, the player, can't interact with it at all. Like, part of the reason why games are such a fun media is because of interactivity, because you, the player, are the ones interacting with the NPCs and the characters and the story. Shit doesn't get done without you. Whereas if I wanted to learn about XYZ thing happening, I'd read a book. I'd watch a TV series. You know what I mean? I wouldn't play a game. It's the fact that Zelda has basically gone from the story game to basically the storyline is so far in the past that you, the player, don't get to interact with the story. You don't get to change the narrative. You don't get to be a part of the narrative at all. You're just hearing about it. You're learning about the past yet again, and that's in turn letting you learn what the narrative is. And it's so I'm basically just watching a show instead of playing a game for an interesting storyline. And it's worrying me because Zelda is supposed to be the story franchise, and we know that the creator of Zelda, I'm gonna butcher his name, so I'm not even gonna try it. But we know that the creator of Zelda, he's not particularly one for storytelling. He's all in for gameplay and that's it. So I'm scared. I want Zelda to stay the story franchise. It's fucking interesting. And it's fun to play. And I like Link and I like Zelda and I want more stories about them. So far we're not really getting stories. So I hope this story is cute, interesting. Hopefully there's a story. I don't know. It has me worried. It really does. And I do kind of like the idea of maybe this is kind of a showing of a cozy Zelda, which is a cool idea. So while we're waiting on story/serious Zelda, we can get a cozy Zelda every now and again. What was it, Triforce Heroes or something? That could almost be a cozy Zelda, honestly. I never played Triforce Heroes. I kind of forget about it sometimes. But this is cozy Zelda to me. I like the idea of that. I like having cozy Zelda. Farm sim Zelda. Maybe not farming exactly, I'm getting a bit burnt out with that kind of thing. But the idea of a cozy Zelda, it's such a cute idea. It'd be cuter if Link and Zelda could be part of it together and we get to see them as a couple in it. They could marry. Yeah, that's the point of cozy. The relationships. They could do a cozy Zelda and have Link and Zelda. You could do it, Nintendo. Give us cozy and serious. Yeah, please. We can have it all. You just have to fucking do it. I don't know what's holding them back. On one hand, I don't particularly like this art style, but I'm putting it down to the Switch, that it's too old for them to do anything better than this. You know what I mean? It's not powerful enough for anything else. Right? As much as, the trees and things give off such a plastic vibe, they're just plastic little toy trees and stuff, then this one was squashed and stretched the hell out of. It looks like it was squashed and stretched. And you can see it repeated a few times, which is fair enough, fine, that's the way of game development. You paste and copy shit. But this is essentially this tree, but squashed and stretched. And you can tell. So Mm-hmm. I genuinely don't know how to feel about the art style. I really don't. There's part of me that wants to go easy on it, but there's part of me that's scared that this is going to be like our, you know, like this, like a dive into the future, like a look into the future, where this is like, if cozy Zelda is a thing that becomes like a genuine like thing every so often while we're waiting on a serious Zelda, they give us a cozy Zelda in between. I don't like the idea of this being the art style every time, because it's I don't know. I'm going to play this game because it has fun gameplay. I'm going to be honest about that. It does look like it's going to be a fun game. But I'm also looking at, I'm like, how long is this game going to be? Because it looks like it would be like a fairly short game. Maybe an hour at that. And it's like, I hope that this is a longer game than that. Especially in this day and age where games are practically €90. An exaggeration, but only by a bit.
Now, it's up to Princess Zelda to step into the protagonist role.
You can have both.
Will Zelda fight with a sword then?
This bit is so.
Here, we wanted to create a new gameplay.
It's funny to think of.
Seen in past Legend of Zelda games with a top-down perspective.
Top-down perspective.
To explain more, please take a look at this video.
Stolen away. Across the vast lands of Hyrule, strange rifts
It is cute. It is.
and have taken many people, including Link. Now alone, Zelda meets the fairy.
Okay, this is immediately like a little interesting story narrative. Like, why the fuck is she in the prison? Like, was she put here? Why was the princess of Hyrule fucking imprisoned? Or is she just coming in here to inspect something? What the fuck was she coming into here to expect? But like, it looks like the door's closed. I don't know. The princess of Hyrule literally gets sealed, saved by Link, found by the guards outside of the cave system that she was saved from, just to be imprisoned all over again. Probably by her own people, for some goddamn reason. Like, I'm looking forward to finding out what this is, because this is either just a misdirect and she was just coming here to like find like a secret or something, or she was imprisoned. And honestly, her being imprisoned is the more interesting concept here. Why would she be imprisoned? Why would she be imprisoned? Like, did an upsurger happen while she was captured? And now the upsurger got her thrown away? Like, why? How? Or is it like they put her in here for her safety, which is still stupid, because like, she's the princess. Why not just lock her in a room where she'll have luxuries but still not capable of leaving? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to imprison the princess tends, like, her imprisonments tend to be, not like her specifically, but like royal imprisonments tend to be, you know, locked in a luxurious room. You know what I mean? Locked in a tower that's still luxurious enough. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason she'd be like in a prison cell is if she was like accused of a crime that would have her thrown here for. But even then, again, royalty, it's like something would have to bypass the fact that she's a royal. It's like, this is really interesting. I hope that it's actually a story beat or something and not just a misdirect, because knowing our look at the draw, it's just a misdirect. She came in here to like find a secret and then found little Tri-Fairy here. Or Try, I think the fairy's name is. Just Try. So, more than likely that's all this is. She came in here looking for a secret, found the Triforce fairy, and that's why she's here. This is all just a misdirect. She wasn't thrown in prison for some reason. She came looking for something and she found this little guy, more than likely. But her being imprisoned is a more interesting plot line.
Try. receives a mysterious staff called...
Also, it's blatantly obvious that what Tri is a representation of the Triforce, like literally having the three little triangles here and literally being named Tri, short for Triforce. Like, is this almost kind of saying, like, is this little fairy like either a representation or like either the Triforce sent this little guy out here, or this little guy is like, how do I put it, the like consciousness of the Triforce itself, and it's like, right, gotta go help Zelda because Link isn't around, so gotta go help Zelda to do shit. Is that it? Like, is that what's happening? Like, because we know that this is very obviously, very blatantly talking about the Triforce. Like the little triangles as well is very Triforce. So I wonder if we're gonna get like any lore about Tri here. Like, is it just a physical manifestation of the Triforce? Like, has it gained consciousness, and that this is what it's doing? It's created a form for itself, like a little fairy that goes and helps. That doesn't have to be delegated to being the ancient relic that people wish upon every century or so. You know what I mean? That it can be involved, I guess.
Receives a mysterious staff called the Tri-Rod.
The
and sets
Tri-Rod.
off on a journey across Hyrule to save
Also,
kingdom.
we all know that that's Link's, that's his, whatchamacallit, his HUD. That's his HUD that he threw off. So if I go back, yeah, there's the HUD he threw off. Then another scene, it's still there. Yeah, like here's Zelda still captured. Here's the thing, here's his HUD, right. Come on. Yeah, see, he's getting pulled into this thing, but his HUD is still there. His HUD is still there. Let's see. And his HUD isn't there in that little scene there where she's standing at the edge of the area. His HUD should be like somewhere around here. Somewhere around here, and it's not there. And we know from the intro that his HUD... yeah, his HUD has these symbols and things on it. That's his HUD. It's these little symbols that kind of remind me of the... whatchamacall them? The Zonai. And then... literally here in this scene.
Cross Hyrule to save her kingdom.
Yeah, that is totally Link's.
By waving the
That is totally Link's HUD.
Tri-Rod.
Also, those guards totally saw her. Like, is she wearing the HUD to hide her identity because she was imprisoned? Because, like, these guards see her and they don't arrest her. So either the HUD is to protect her identity because she's the princess, or because she was imprisoned. I mean, both could be the explanation, because she was imprisoned and she's the princess. Like, she's gonna have to hide her identity if she's gonna go on this journey. Because if she's recognized as princess, is gonna be constantly interrupted, but for that, she has to hide her identity.
To save her.
I almost got it. You can see, like, there's clearly stuff on the back of the thing. You can't really see it clearly, but you can see that there is something there. So, but, like, you see the guards clearly looking at her. So,
Kingdom. By waving the tri-rod at a table she found, Zelda learned how to create an imitation of it called an echo. Once you learn an echo of something,
I do like the concept of this. It seems like it would be really fun to play.
Even if there's a wall blocking your path, you can create echoes of tables to get a leg up. Just like that. You can create wooden boxes, old beds, and unusual things like water blocks.
I love that. I love the fact that you can, you know, the water blocks thing is really cool, and we see it in action later on, but it's really cool, and it's very reminiscent of Krynos. You know you know that like move from Breath of the Wild, something. Well, I keep almost saying Kronos, which is like the Titan of Time from, you know, Hades. Hades 2. So, I don't know. But yeah, I love the idea of this. Like, it's gonna be a really fun game to play. I just hope that there's a good story to go with it.
How you use them separately or together is entirely up to you. Learn and create echoes of things you find while exploring Hyrule.
Yeah, and you can see it as well. That Tri here had Tri has 3 little triangles, but you see them getting used whenever Zelda creates an echo. You can see it. So that's the concept. It's Tri doing the echoing.
Learn and create echoes of things
you can see
find
it.
while exploring Hyrule. You might be surprised at what you discover.
The echo is on the object that she created, which means you do get a limited amount of echoes.
You could pick up and throw a rock echo.
I love the concept of this as well. It's so funny to me that they're like, oh yeah, Princess Zelda is a princess, so we can't have her swinging a sword. God, no. Like, goddesses forbid. But we can, in fact,
for example,
have her picking up a rock and throwing it at a dude. That's so princessy of her. Just picking up a rock and tossing it at a guy. Can't have her swing a sword, though. That's so funny.
Not all, though. You can also create echoes of
That's cool,
monsters.
Though. The fact that you can create echoes of some of the creatures. That's cool. And they'll fight for you.
After doing so, they'll fight by your side.
Yeah. And like they also have the little triangles over their heads. And we see with these moblins, or whatever they're called, they both each use 2 of those like triangle echo things. So that's at least 4 echoes in total so far that we've seen. At least 4. So that's giving you a lot of range.
Monsters have different abilities, so choose the one you want to create based on the situation.
Yeah, and that fish also has 2. It's funny to me that we don't get an echo of those 2 birds. So either we've already created an echo of those birds, or there's no echo for these birds. Because like literally, the meat has an echo. You know what I mean? Like you can feed yourself with this ability, but there's no echo for these birds. So either she has an echo of them already, or some of these animals just won't have echoes. Also, that is cool. The fact that you can like jump onto the treetops. That is actually really cool. That is so cool. That could be an explanation of why these look so plasticky, because they are actually solid. What's the word I'm looking for? Models. I almost said meshes, but that's not the right word. Models. Solid enough that you as a player can actually jump on them. Like, that is so cool. The fact that you could potentially like skip whole aspects of the game just from skipping across the treetops. It is such a cool idea. Like, the gameplay is going to be fun. I just hope that, like, you know, there's gonna be interesting story and maybe like character moments and all this to go along with it. Also, someone also pointed out that this item, it doesn't have any of those triangles. So this is not an echo that Zelda made. This is a robotic item, like a mechanical item that you can get at some point. And it's clearly like shooting bombs or fire or something. Bombs, I think, because that's very bombish. So that's so cool. Like, there must be like a shop or like an inventor or someone. Yeah, there he is. That has to be him. Hang on. I'll pause it in the right moment this time. That one. This has to be that inventor dude. I just noticed that this immediately reminded me of Cherry from Breath of the Wild. And also, very... I'm not saying he's Sheikah, but that just immediately reminded me of Sheikah. But this guy immediately reminds me of like the Sheikah dude from Breath of the Wild. And that reminds me of Cherry. The what you call it, the oven. The Sheikah tech oven that he called Cherry. And then don't know who this is. It's either a child or an assistant or a wife, probably. Because this looks like their home / work area. So Zelda is still, might I add, wearing the cloak. I think she's wearing it throughout the entire trailer. So is it just like a fashion choice, or is it she's actually straight up hiding her identity?
In a Hyrule without Link.
Yeah, and that's straight up. That is straight up Impa. Straight up, that is Impa. Beating the daylights out of some guards. Also pointing out, these are Hyrulean guards. So, what? They find Zelda, immediately throw her into a prison cell, and then Impa's here beating the daylights out of them. Like, something's going on with the Hyrulean soldiers for them to be, 1, attacked by Zelda, and 2, potentially imprisoning Zelda. Like, some type of mutiny or something is going on.
In a Hyrule without Link, the fate of the kingdom is now in Zelda's hands.
Again, like, we can have both, Nintendo, we can have both of them. Like, it doesn't have to be this one or the other kind of mentality. Like, you have the writing chops, the creative freedom to give us a dual protagonist game where we have both of them. Please and thank you.
In a Hyrule without Link.
Also, the 2 factions of what are they called? I keep almost calling them Zonai, but they're not Zonai, they're Zora. That's it, Zora. The 2 factions, that's so fascinating. I don't think we've ever seen them in the same game before. It's either this crowd or this crowd, and these guys are usually enemies, and they can toss like fireballs and shit at you. They're supposed to be water creatures. So like, this is so cool, and this is clearly like a meeting between 2 rulers as well. Like, that's definitely a queen or a princess. This one almost is penguin shaped. It's funny. Penguin shaped penguin. Is that like clear? I'm saying penguin. Penguin shaped Zora. This guy, nothing behind those eyes. If you told me this was a statue, I'd believe you. Nothing going on behind those eyes. Not a single thought.
The fate of the...
Oh, and a Deku. I think that's what they're called, a Deku? Deku... This guy. He's literally in the ground at this point. And then he jumps out. Oh, is he like a little shop owner? That could be cool.
The kingdom is now in Zelda's hands.
She's the princess. It's always in her hands.
How was that? I hope you enjoyed this demonstration of the Echo ability, which channels Princess Zelda's wisdom.
It channels Princess Zelda's wisdom, even though all of it is clearly coming from this little guy. Although maybe the point is that it's coming directly from the Triforce of Wisdom. That could be what it means. That this is like the entity of Triforce of Wisdom. Like, why can't it just be like the entire Triforce and not just the Wisdom part of it? I don't know. Well,
There
yeah.
are a lot of echoes in this game. To be honest, I haven't counted them all yet.
I like the fact that like you can just spawn some like enemy dudes.
I haven't counted them all yet.
Like this is usually an enemy. These like spiders, they're usually an enemy or a nuisance or something. And in some games they're like a puzzle, like find all the golden spiders or whatever. So like the fact that you can make an echo of them in this game and turn them into like a resource and like a way to like cross, what's the word, platform, to basically use them as an item to like platform across. I don't know how this could keep going actually. Can she spawn one there and then jump across to it? Also, it looks like these take 2 of those thingamajigs each, so the second she spawns one there, if she can spawn one there, this dude is gone, more than likely. Because it looks like you're out of little triangles. Yeah, it even shows it here. 2 triangles.
How you solve puzzles and battle enemies will change depending on the echoes used.
And the little deco sprout thing
Depending on
having 3 of these little echo things, and at the time this guy is out of echoes. So 3 little triangles. So that's a lot, needing 3. I think that's one of the only items we've seen so far that needed 3 of the echoes.
on the echoes used.
Also, this little dude is, because it looks like that this is a creature. Like these are little. There it is. It's a little creature. It has eyes. It's like a little candle wick creature. That's so cute. Has this ever been like a creature in the game before? In the series, I mean, before? Because that's so cute. Look at it. It's a little ball of probably wax. For some reason, is sentient. It has like a little flame on top. That's so cute. I want it as a pet. But these are like, I don't know what you call them, choo-choos or whatever they're called. You just send a dude out to burn them.
Where each player's experience will be different.
Okay, and that's our second item that has this
Where each
screaming dude.
player's expe-
He's the second item that we've seen so far that needs 3 of those little echoes, those little triangles. Let me go back with the other dude, with the little flaming dude. The flaming dude needs 2, which is a lot for such a small little creature. Is it because it's a living creature that it needs at least 2? Because the other ones so far, like all the ones that need only 1 triangle so far have been like inanimate objects, like the bed and the table. So far those have been the ones that have been like 1 triangle. But then so far all the living creatures need at least 2 so far, because this is a living creature and it has 2, and every enemy spawn we've seen so far has 2, and then the highest one we've seen so far has been 3. But the 3 has been like a moving plant seed, which is in a way alive and it has to move you around. And then the other third item is also a quote unquote living
We've created a game
creature.
where each player's experience will be different.
Yeah, quote unquote living, and it's a powerful enemy because it's powerful enough against other enemies, needing 3. So far that's what I'm seeing as the common denominator. That so far 2 items that we've seen so far that needed 3 items, that needed 3 whatchamacallem, this plant thing that is a deku seed, like a big deku seed thing, which is a plant and they are alive, needs 3 because it's a living organism and it's moving you across the place. So it's a living, useful item that's moving you around. That's transportation. Transportation. And it needs 3. And then every other item is either an inanimate object, which so far that I've seen only needed 1 of those triangles so far that I've seen, or that I've paid attention to at least. And then the other ones, the monsters so far either need 2 or 3.
Depending on the echoes used,
Mainly 2 so far, but sometimes 3 of those echoes.
Experience will be different. The legend where each player's experience will be different. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
This artwork is so cute. They had to have Link in there somewhere. This is that plant thing that we saw that I was saying that needed 3 little echoes. It's right there. I haven't seen this guy in the game, but he's in the cover art. And this right here, this is a chest, but it's half buried, so that could indicate that we could find buried chests, which is a cool concept. There's like a little something there that's kind of cut off. Like it's one of these pillar things is right there. Pillar, looks similar. The Ganon that was already defeated by Link. So is this indicating that this cunt is in the same place as Link? Like he's in that void place? So like is Link in the void with this thing having to fight him again and again until Zelda can like get him out of there? That makes me worried about those civilians, because if they're all in the same place and they're all with this dude, so that means whatever civilians got sucked up are definitely in danger. I mean, Link is in danger too. He's just the only one who can handle himself. Then we temporarily get this guy off. So, September 28th, which nowadays is like, what, next month? Yeah, it's next month. Literally, next month. So, one more month and a few weeks, and we get this game. So the question is, like, who are you going to be getting this game? Because I'm definitely going to be getting it. I have to save up for it because there's a lot of bills and things happening right now in this season of time. But I'll be saving up to be able to get this game when it comes out. Hopefully by then most of the bills would be, A-okay, and I'll have something left over to get this game. But the way gaming is right now, how expensive it is, this is going to be like what? It's 70 to probably 90, like €70 at least. But I keep jokingly saying almost 90. You know what I mean? That is not a challenge, Nintendo. Please don't actually make it €90, please. But yeah, given how expensive gaming is getting, it's, yourself. I'm going to be getting this game, but it'll come down to timing on whether I can actually afford to get it on the day it comes out, or even the week after it comes out. So we'll see. I have every intention of getting this game. It just comes down to, will I have money for it when it comes out?
System launches September 26th. A Nintendo Switch Lite system inspired by the Legend of Zelda series will also be available at launch.
Oh. So, and there's another question for you then. Will you be getting this console? Even if I could afford it, like if I won the lotto in the morning, I still wouldn't know if I want to get it. Because here's the thing, it's really pretty and I love the gold, and the black and the gold is really pretty. It's nice, but I've no really interest in the light. And 2, I can't really justify buying a Switch, another one, when the one I have is still functioning. I only have the one Switch. The one I have is still functioning. And if I was going to get another Switch at this day and age, it's going to be like the Switch 2. So if that comes out next year or whatever, then it's going to be that I'm going to get. The Switch 2. But yeah, are you going to be getting this game in general? Or are you going to get this little console, this limited edition Hyrule edition of the Switch Lite on the September 26th of this year?
Switch Lite system inspired by the Legend of Zelda series will also be available at launch. We hope you're looking forward to playing as Zelda in this new adventure.
People have been wanting to play as Zelda since like the dawn of time. So absolutely people are looking forward to playing as Zelda. No doubt in my mind about that. I'm half worried about like the future of Zelda. I think I've mentioned this already, but like I hope Like, if they start doing cozy Zelda, which is a fun concept to me, I still want serious story Zelda, and I don't want what we've been getting with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where the story is like so far back in the past, we the player don't really interact with it. Like in Tears of the Kingdom, there was at least something for Link to do in the present day that was sort of story driven, which is okay. But I still want more than like the little crumbs we were given in Tears of the Kingdom, because again, all the story beats were in the past with Zelda, and you the player, aka Link, couldn't interact with that shit at all. You just had to learn about it. It's like, great, I might as well read a book, considering I'm learning about the story in this third party way, instead of getting to interact with it organically like I would in general with a game. You know what I mean? Like, you understand what I'm saying, right? I hope that in future Zelda games, maybe even in this Zelda game, this in this game, this Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, we get like an actual story that we can actually interact with, and that's a fun, interesting story, and that Zelda games will start having stories again where we can actually interact with them and we're not hearing about it after the fact. You know what I mean? I want story where I'm interacting with it again, please and thank you. Like, I feel like the only reason why we didn't get like Link traveling to the past with Zelda is because the fandom would then be like, oh, but this timeline, oh, but how would this split up the timeline? It's like, if the timeline is causing Nintendo to not give us interesting story, I don't care if the entire timeline gets tossed out the window, because I want interesting story. And if the timeline, the fandom timeline or whatever, is the reason why Nintendo is not doing interesting story beats, because they're like, oh, but then the fandom will be pestering us about what about the timeline, how is this broken or changed or fixed or whatever the timeline. Like, I want interesting story, and if the timeline is holding Nintendo back, I don't care if they toss it out. I'd rather have a storyline where Link gets to travel into the past with Zelda, and we get to actually interact with the story with her, instead of, you know, what we've been getting. As fun as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is, and as fun as Echoes of Wisdom looks, because we haven't gotten it yet, but it looks fun. As fun as these games are, I want story. I want to be able to interact with it. And I hope that I can interact with the story here in Echoes of Wisdom. That we get to meet up with Link, we get to save him, he gets to then help us out and engage with this with us, or something. Or something, like anything, please. And then, like, the next games of Zelda, you know, we get a storyline where we can interact with it and all this sort of stuff. Because gameplay is great, but don't forget about the story. It's part of the reason why games are one of the best medias, is that you get to interact with the NPCs in the story. And Cozy Zelda, the idea of Cozy Zelda is like the best thing, because like part of why cozy games are so beloved is because of relationships. You know, the way with like Stardew and Coral Island, all these kind of games, is that there's like a romanceability. You can romance some of the NPCs and get married and all these sorts of things. So like a potential cozy Zelda, we could potentially finally see the likes of Link and Zelda actually getting to be in a relationship. Like in Tears of the Kingdom, in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, there's kind of hints to it. You know what I mean? But we can't see it. But like in Breath of the Wild, we straight up get told Zelda was in love with her knight, which is Link. And then Tears of the Kingdom implies that they're living together, and then Link builds them like a bigger house that they're implied to live into that together too. So, like, again, it's implied, but we get nothing of confirmation. So, I don't know. This is one of, like, the only straight ships I ship, Link and Zelda. They're, like, one of the only straight ships for me. So the idea that we never get, like, a full-on confirmation of these two, never really get to see them together. Getting a cozy game where you play either as Link or Zelda, or both, or either or, and you get to romance Link or Zelda, as Link or Zelda, that sounds like so much fun. Although other players are probably like, if romanceability is a thing and you can romance other characters, other players are probably want to romance other characters. But still, like, I love the idea of it, but I don't think we'll ever get anything like that. It might be too much to ask for, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think I've talked more than enough about this. What is it, like 4 or 5 minute video? Like 4 or 5 minute. I think it's like a 3-minute like trailer overall, and here I am talking about it for 45 minutes. So I'm gonna leave it there. Tell me what you think about this game, what you think about the future of Zelda is. Are you like looking forward to or dreading the future of Zelda? And I guess I'll see you in the next video, whenever that's gonna end up being, when I have the time. Hopefully soon. We'll be seeing you again.